We've received several requests to add a showdown between NYU Stern and Chicago Booth to our popular video series comparing top business schools. So here we are, NYU Stern and Chicago Booth. Both programs make the cut when MBA applicants look for top MBA programs in large cities. Throw in strong ties to the financial services sector, and that list narrows even further, with Stern and Booth being two of the stronger matches. While Stern and Booth are both prestigious programs with the benefits of big city living, they also offer much more beyond their reputations for finance. Let's kick off by talking about the prestige, the reputations of these programs. Rankings are, of course, one metric of prestige, and both schools have historically fared quite well. Stern typically ranks in the top 10 to 15 programs. Booth more often ranks in the top 10, period. In the latest U.S. News & World Report evaluation of American business schools, Stern ranked number 6 and Booth ranked number 4. These impressive rankings bear out in the school's acceptance rates, too, with both schools in the 25 to 30% range in typical years. Class profile stats are another measure of prestige. The most recent classes from both schools have GPA averages around 3.6. Both schools have GMAT averages around 730. This is on the classic GMAT scale, so it's equivalent to about a 675 or 685 on the new GMAT, the GMAT Focus. Stern's class does record higher GRE scores than Booth. Compare aggregate scores of 328 from Stern to 324 for Booth. Now, both schools have average quant scores at or above 163 and verbal scores at or above 161. While we're on the topic of testing, it's worth noting that the Stern School also accepts the Executive Assessment, or EA, for its full-time program, though they do not publish average stats for that exam. All in all, though, these are both broadly considered top programs. Booth gets a slight edge for its unofficial designation as one of the very top M7 programs. However, I encourage you to not get too stuck on that label, as rankings are not perfect, and there's more to the decision than just prestige. While we believe an MBA is so much more than a chance to recruit for new jobs, career outcomes are, of course, an important factor for most applicants. As I mentioned, both Booth and Stern are known as finance powerhouses. Those reputations are certainly warranted. Booth has a long history of financial and economic scholarship and distinguished, even Nobel Prize-winning faculty. Booth consistently sends about 1/3 of its graduates into finance careers. Similarly, about 1/3 of Stern's graduates pursue careers in this field, and finance is the largest academic department at Stern. Much of Stern's finance reputation stems from its proximity to Wall Street. For students interested in investment banking specifically, many Wall Street banks recruit from Stern. Although both schools are known as finance schools, they send the same, if not a greater portion, of their graduates into consulting. Yes, that's right, consulting is the top career choice, even for these so-called finance schools. While all the top consulting firms recruit from Booth, the odds of making it to one of the elite MBB, McKinsey, Bain, or BCG firms are slightly higher from Booth, where 16% of the latest class took MBB offers versus 9% from Stern. Beyond financial services and consulting, tech is the third most popular sector at both schools. For more about these popular MBA careers, as well as a handful of others, check out On Track by mbaMission, where we go in depth into what it means to go into these fields and which schools have strengths in particular areas. We have a free plan to get you access to almost 100 lessons, or you can use the code MBAMPOD for a discount on our paid plans. While we're on the topic of career specializations, I want to highlight one notable difference between Booth and Stern. In addition to the 2-year full-time MBA, both schools offer popular part-time and executive MBA degrees as well, but Stern takes their menu of offerings a step further through its 1-year full-time specialized MBA degrees. There's the Andre Koo Technology and Entrepreneurship MBA and the Luxury and Retail MBA, both in New York City. Both are fantastic opportunities for students who have already determined their passion for one of these sectors and offer a specialized curriculum that complements immersive experiences. And for a more global take, there's also a 1-year NYU at Abu Dhabi MBA. Let's talk about location now. Both schools are on urban campuses in large US cities. Thus, they benefit from social and cultural opportunities that schools in smaller cities or campus towns simply cannot match. At both schools, students primarily live in non-school apartment buildings where rent can be pricey, but life in Chicago or New York City comes with extensive public transportation systems, easy access to job opportunities, and the intangible quality of lively dining and nightlife options. This is not to say that New York City and Chicago are the same. After all, Greater New York has 3 times the population of Chicago. Plus, one is located in the Northeast and one is in the Midwest, and thus the location of post-MBA jobs vary. Over 80% of recent Stern grads stayed in the Northeast, which is a significant majority. Coming from Booth, you'll find graduates tend to spread out more, with about 1/3 in the Northeast, another third staying in the Midwest, and a bit over 20% going to the West Coast. Consider whether Stern's geographic concentration is a perk or a disadvantage for you, and talk to students, because it could just be the tail wagging the dog. Students who go to school in New York may just love New York and may not want to leave. I want to discuss 2 more aspects of what the experience is like at Stern versus Booth. The first is academics. Booth is often cited as the most flexible MBA curriculum, giving students immediate choices in which classes to pick from. Stern does have a core curriculum, but allows students to opt out of core courses based on their academic background or testing. So at both schools, you can begin specializing and taking electives in your first year. Neither school uses one prescribed teaching style. At both schools, you'll find courses taught using case studies, lectures, team projects, and hands-on simulations. The final consideration I'll cover is class size. Booth is a much larger program, with a class size typically ranging from the high 500s to the mid 600s. Stern's class is typically in the mid 300s, never going above 400 in the last 8 years. Students at smaller schools like Stern tend to know most of their peers, and their communities tend to be more closely knit. Advocates of large schools like Booth believe in the advantage of a broader network, with the ability to interact with more people during your MBA. Reflect on whether you'd be more comfortable in a large class or a smaller one, or maybe this isn't important to you at all. So, which do you prefer, Stern or Booth? Or do you like them both? I encourage you to download our School Insiders Guides for more in-depth information on both schools, and to sign up for OnTrack, where you can learn all about these schools and at least 13 others and growing, and check out the rest of our videos comparing schools. That playlist is coming up next.